The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back up to it. It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve from Zoey Advertising, which is the mothership that we hail from, Zoey Advertising. Full service advertising company, right?
What does that mean, Tom?
I don't know. Well, we do radio commercials and television commercials.
Well, your voice, every other commercial in WSYR is Tom.
Yeah.
I hear you all the time.
We do all of that, but we can certainly cast it. And then we do things like, podcasts and this local show, and then billboards. And,
that's
print design.
All of the things, and a ton of digital, ton of social.
Right.
People, can cut their own hair, but it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Right. So people think, oh, I'm going to save money. I'm going to go direct. And then they don't put those spaces in the right places.
Right.
And things don't work. Well, marketing doesn't work. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
If you have professionals do it and you have a team, right? You want to kind of set it and forget it. You want to get the team working on it, and then you go off and do what you do well.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So whatever your
what do I do well, Tom?
You don't, but the team does pretty good. Hey, look, we've got a new guest to the show. I think she's been on before, but I don't know. It seems like we've had her people on. Lauren Kochian. She's the president of the Museum of Science and Technology, most.org. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. So are you from Syracuse? Are you from around here?
I am. I'm a lifer. Yep.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to ESM high school.
Yeah.
Actually, it's where my kids go now.
Yeah.
And actually went to SU. So native lifer, the whole thing.
Wow. No kidding. What'd you go to SU for? What?
Public relations.
Okay.
And then, this was back a long time ago before SU had sports public relations and sports majors, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. So also did a lot of sports internships throughout my college career. And
anywhere then fun?
Crunch, everywhere fun. Yeah. Crunch, SU Athletics was then the Sky Chiefs. And
there we go.
My first job was in pro hockey, and I was like, oh, actually, it turns out I don't like working in sports.
Sometimes it takes doing it to figure out what you like and don't like.
Exactly.
Right?
And an internship's a lot different than a job.
Yeah,
I came back home for my master's after working for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and never left since.
So, and would you get your master's in public relations, or
sort of? It was called at the time, and this might have also changed, media management. So it was half MBA, half communications.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think everybody benefits from having some business finance classes, no matter what you do.
Right.
Nobody can do math anymore.
No.
Tom.
Steve could
Common Core is not helping our cause either, I'll tell you what.
Steve is taking English as a first language.
Come on.
We're working on that right now.
And Tom hasn't known what X was since 9th grade.
I know. X over Y equals something.
Right.
So what brought you over to the most?
So I've been there, I think it's almost 9 years.
Oh, gosh.
But most of my career since grad school has been in nonprofit work.
Okay.
My first job was at Syracuse Stage, which actually was a lot like sports. Entertainment and all of that. And then my career just led me from there to Arc of Onondaga, which helps people with disabilities.
Okay.
And I found out there that I was really good at fundraising, which is obviously really important to
How many years were you at Arc?
5.
Yeah, see, I think I know you from there, too. Yeah, that could be. Okay, maybe we had her on when she was ARC.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yes.
That was probably it. Okay,
just tell him he's wrong. Just tell him he's wrong.
No, I think that is right because I did a lot more of that.
That makes sense.
And then I was recruited to come to the Most from ARC. Because, if we want to feel really old and talk about marketing and ad agencies and all of that great stuff, I was ARC. We did a lot of digital advertising, and we did a lot of social media. And at that time, it was new. And I was like, oh,
correct.
Wow,
yeah, that was
she's
new
really
stuff.
good at this. It's like, it's just because
because you did it.
Yep.
But you've been at the Most for quite some time, and they've remodeled and they've done all sorts of stuff. Tell us what's going on. What's new over there?
Oh my gosh, we've done a lot in the last several years. When I became president, we had a 5-year plan that included a lot of exhibit improvements, a lot of building improvements, marketing you name it. and it was right around COVID. And so what was really obviously terrible and tragic almost became, at least for us, an opportunity to just fast forward all of that.
Right.
So we took a 5-year plan and condensed it into 2 because we were closed.
Right.
So,
you were able to do stuff. Yeah.
We didn't have kids running around, and we were spread out enough that we could report to work. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we were fortunate enough to not only receive the federal funding a lot of companies did, but we also received extra funding as a ticketed institution. So they had these shuttered venue grants.
Gotcha.
And so we were able to use some of that funding too to pay for all of these improvements.
So what did you do?
Yeah,
Tell us what you did.
Almost every permanent exhibit has been updated.
Okay.
So the permanent ones are things like the Dino Zone and the Life Sciences exhibit with the giant heart and giant brain. And so all of those got sort of a refresh.
Yeah.
One of the downsides of being in science and technology is it changes.
Yeah, it does change
quickly.
rapidly. Yeah,
So it's not like the one when it was over 40 years ago, over on the other street there. And I remember at the end of there's the bicycle, and you'd pedal it hard, and the light bulb would go on. That was about the edgiest thing in the place 40 years ago.
We have a new version of that though, because it is so cool, right?
You like pedaling the bulbs.
Energy is it, right? Yeah. So we have one of those still in our energy exhibit. But yes, we have a lot more. We've grown from that small little storefront, which is now Al's, to 35,000 square feet of exhibits.
That's nice.
The newest exhibits being a Micron exhibit that we opened last fall.
How about Rob O'Connor? Is he over there? Was he doing something with the esports?
They were actually leasing space from us, which was very cool.
Did they outgrow it?
They outgrew it.
How about that?
I know.
We got to have Rob back on.
In a year. So they're in like something that's like 10 times the space. Well, they're moving into it now.
Okay.
Something that's about 10 times the space. It just shows you how esports is like this rapidly growing.
Huge thing, yeah.
Huge industry.
So who goes to the most?
Well, it's mostly schools and school groups on weekdays. We have probably over, I'd say, 20 to 30,000 students that come through annually.
Golly.
But the rest of that is largely families that come on weekends and breaks. And we have about 130,000 annual visitors.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. We've grown and gotten really busy. A lot of grandparents will come too. And bring the kids, but it's everybody, and we try to specifically target adults that maybe don't want to bring their kids or don't have kids yet, with some of our like evening events, sort of one-off things. But the normal foot traffic is usually parents with kids, like let's say K through 8.
A lot of tourists.
Yeah. During break weeks, tourists more so like. If they're visiting family in Syracuse,
right,
and in summer, certainly. One cool thing about the most is we're a member of ASTC,
which is
the Science and Technology Center Association. And there's hundreds of museums all over the world. So if you have a most membership, if you purchase one, your admission is free for the year, but your admission is also free to like 350 reciprocal museums.
Okay.
So a lot of times the tourists are coming in for free.
Okay.
Because they're a member of, let's say, the Boston Science Center or even the Corning Museum of Glass. Which is really cool. So I think that helps us get foot traffic from all over the world.
Right.
Do you have any events coming up? Anything that that we should be aware of in the community?
Yeah, well, April is a crazy month, but the eclipse is the biggie festival.
Monday, right around the corner, right here.
Monday the 8th, that we've been planning for about 2 years now. It's like we've been planning for 2 years, and now all of a sudden it's happening on Monday.
Right.
So from noon to 4. Because Syracuse is in the path of totality.
Okay.
Syracuse being in the path of totality for about 90 seconds.
Gotcha.
On our most lawn, we'll have a great view of it.
Nice.
So we have a festival from noon to 4. It's free.
Oh, okay.
We'll have food trucks. We will have tables. We have somebody from NASA coming, who's from Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
And she's going to have a table set up for kids. And
so all kinds of information at most.org?
Yep, most.org, right on the main page.
The path of totality.
Yes. And after the eclipse goes by, you can have Steve come by. He's a walking eclipse.
Oh, come on.
He can eclipse just about anything.
Come on, the path of totality.
Yes, that's it. Hey, thank you so much, Lauren, and for all that you do over there. We appreciate it. Okay. Greg Labar is coming up next. He's the manager of Preferred Power Sports right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.